Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News, February 26th, 2020. All day today, folks, I've been getting inbox messages and emails, all kinds of correspondence. And most of it was related to the video that I did yesterday, responding to Mr. What the hell is his name? Mr. Planet X Hunter over in the UK, the guy that sees planets in the clouds, aka a Sam Hoffman protege. And I got quite a few really rude emails and a lot of rude comments under that video. And, look, I'm used to all of that. None of that phases me. It actually amuses me. But I wanted to go over some information with you guys so we can pretty much, kind of stop this nonsense. And look, everybody is free to believe whatever you want to believe. But, I'll just come out and say it. Don't push those hocus pocus beliefs on me or any of my subscribers. I think the subscribers to this YouTube channel over the years, I think they are smart enough to understand scientifically that it is physically impossible, scientifically impossible, to have large planets, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 large planets, in the atmosphere, in the sky, in the clouds, or even out at the position of, let's just say, Mars. Folks, I've been studying science for a long time. I'm not here to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I'm not here to fake anybody out. I'm not here to push my agenda down your throat. I am here to simply show you the evidence that I gather in my investigations and in my research. And that's it, period. Now, in my previous live stream, whenever I showed all of you the latest photo capture from February 21st, if you watch that, there's a segment where I told all of you, in a statement, I said, boy, oh boy, when these photographs circulate, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. People are going to come after me once again. Well, that obviously didn't take very long. And this guy over there in the UK, Mr. Planet X Hunter, released a video this morning and basically laughing at all of you. And I thought that was, people call me arrogant. You misconstrue that arrogance for just self-confidence. That's it. I'm confident in my work. That's it. I'm a no-nonsense person also. So, if you want to consider that arrogant, whatever. But anyways, in Mr. Planet X Hunter's video this morning, he was basically laughing and saying that his plan worked, and himself and Mr. Sam Hoffman got all kinds of new subscribers from Planet X News. Man, whoop-de-doo. So, just like I said in my live stream yesterday, folks, people pull this shit all the time. They want to try to use my name as a stepping stone. They want to criticize the information. They want to criticize the photographs, the videos. They want to come over to my YouTube channel and troll the channel, troll me on Facebook, Twitter, send me rude emails. Look, man, I've been at this 20 years now. You can throw anything you want at me. It doesn't faze me. None of it phases me, nor do I care. But what I do care about is people being tricked. So that's what this is all about. If you don't want to listen to me this evening, then don't. Go back to watching TV or doing whatever you were doing before you got a notification for this live stream. So earlier this morning, I took my $3,000 video camera and I decided to go out and film the sky in high definition myself. And look, I've been a sky watcher, just about all my life. I used to, sit out in the summer times and watch the stars. And, that was before we had chemtrailing and all this other crap. And I was always amazed by Earth space science. So I am no dummy. I didn't just pick up on this stuff yesterday. So I took my Panasonic, I think it's a XHTC 1000, something like that, tripod. Took it all out this morning, and we had a pretty overcast day, and I was out there looking for planets in the clouds, man. And I have the video. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up now. You guys can check it out. I also have some other little pieces of candy for you guys to check out. Now, all I did was just simply set the camera up on its tripod, pointed it up to the sky. I even had my infrared setting on, and I did a complete full 360-degree rotation while the camera was on the tripod. And I don't know, folks. I didn't see Planet Ottu and Planet Crayola and Planet Finger Paint. I mean, I didn't see anything like that in the sky, nor did I expect to see anything like that. And all the criticism under my video live stream yesterday, look, man, it's all typical. Those folks can say what they want to say. It's no big deal. But I would have to say that there is a reasoning for this type of situation to occur. People are now calling me, these idiots are calling me a government shill. Like I'm being paid by the government. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why the FBI's been to my house twice. Okay. That's why they came and, told me and Dr. Albers to stop writing books and to get off of YouTube. Yeah. I don't see the authorities visiting Mr. Planet X Hunter and telling him to stop telling people there are planets in the sky. It's, they were referring to me as a disinformation agent. Whatever, man. Watch a little bit more James Bond. That's just absolutely ridiculous. And if people don't want to watch my evidence, they don't want to see what I'm finding, hey, man, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to tune in, Go watch Pastor Paul Begley or something, come on. But here is the point. I'm a person who has to see evidence, okay? I'm not just going to take your word for it. So far, I have not seen any evidence whatsoever of this mythological claim that there are Sam Hoffman Crayola planets in the clouds above the Earth or orbiting the Earth. That is just complete nonsense. It is absolutely impossible. And I will get to all of that information, and hopefully, we can put these claims to bed, put them to rest tonight, and, let Mr. Planet X Hunter enjoy his new short-lived subscribers, because that's all that he was truly caring about. And just like I said, folks, the guy's trying to use my name as a little stepping stone. I don't care. Go subscribe to his channel if you want to, check out his videos, cloud formations and things of that nature. I mean, that portion of it's pretty interesting, but to claim that there are planets up in those clouds and you're seeing them, that's just mind-boggling, and there's a condition for that. We're going to go over that. So far, in 4.5 minutes of this video that I took this morning, I don't know. I watched the video 4 or 5 times today because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any cloud formation planets in the clouds. Times even zoomed in on the sun behind the clouds there because it looks kind of weird. And and here's something else. Here, let's just stop this for a second. And let's make it look more ominous. Why don't we? Let's make it look more ominous. We don't want that one. That's negative. That's not what I wanted. Here, let's make it look more ominous. Do 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 do. Here, we'll make it look more ominous, like Mr. Planet X Hunter does. Adjust some filters. And look, right there. Hold on. Stop. Oh my. I think we have something. Right there. Oh my Lord. There's some type of planetoid. Right there. Oh, no. Not a planet. It's not Attu, Saru, Boohoo, Crayola planet. It is the sun shining through that small opening in the clouds. This video was taken at 9 o'clock in the morning, right on the dot. And I heard this guy say that the sun was rising in the west over in the UK where he lives. I have a digital compass in my car. It's part of the dashboard. And I made sure my car was pointing exactly due east in the parking lot where I took this video. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, that sun was coming up in the east, right where it was supposed to be. So maybe Mr. Planet X Hunter has his coordinates. Maybe he's off a little bit. That's just screwy. So far, folks, have you guys seen anything interesting in the video? I mean, it was actually pretty boring. Now, if you look close, you might see some cloud formations that look like bunny rabbits or tigers and lions and dragons, and you may even see some interdimensional beings and all kind of stuff. But like I said, there's a condition for that. It's called Pareidolia. And if you don't know what Pareidolia is, I'm going to explain it to you. I've known about it for a long, long time. I have tried for many, many years to explain Pareidolia to people that see things in the clouds, and they get mad. Everybody gets mad when you tell them the truth. I think that is a very severe psychological defect in your personality. If you get mad, if you ask me a question or you ask me to examine one of your photographs or your videos and I tell you the truth and then you get mad at me, that's complete nonsense, man. So remember, I added a little filter change color to this. This isn't the natural color, but like Mr. PX Hunter over there, he does the same thing. And, he probably suffers really, really bad from this Pareidolia. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do any of you see Ottu, Saru, Inatu, Chewbacca? I mean, are you seeing planets in the skies? I don't. So if he sees them in the UK and they're as big as Sam Hoffman says they are, then I should be able to see them too, regardless of any time difference or positioning on the Earth. If there's so many of them and they're so damn big, and as Sam Hoffman says, two of them are big, gigantic gas giants. Well, that's completely nonsense. There's no such thing as any of those planets. He named them himself, and the guy's a complete hoaxer. So that was 8 minutes of complete nonsense. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this right here. As I told all of you before, I had a very long, lengthy conversation with Sam Hoffman. I think it was back in 2016. And he referred me to this Merry Christmas video of his. I think it dates back to 2015, if I'm not mistaken. So for any of you that don't know Sam Hoffman, you're going to get to meet him in this video clip. It's very, very shitty quality. I don't know what this was shot. This was maybe shot on a flip camera phone. I don't know what this was videotaped on, but the quality is very, very bad. I want you guys to take the time to listen to what the guy says. I'll give him the damn platform here on Planet X News. And you folks can make your choices after that, what you believe. I had one lady comment under my video criticizing me because I showed one of the worst renditions, the crayon coloring renditions of Sam's planetary setup. And she said that, it wasn't very nice of me to do that. Well, what, did he upgrade from Crayolas to finger paints? Or is he now airbrushing these pictures? I mean, I don't know how anybody can actually believe that. That's complete nonsense, folks. So again, after today, this guy doesn't want to debate me live and show me his evidence and come out like a man. I'll put it all to end, or all to rest this evening. But anyways, I'm gonna scoot through this a little bit because there's a lot of Merry Christmas, just this Merry Christmas picture here. And incense he's burning.
It's clearly crazy stuff. Hi, this is me with my crazy dollar store glasses on. almost see what I'm doing.
I'm just going to sit back, let you guys watch this.
Hi, members. How you doing? Let's see. Let's clear some stuff out of the way. Always got too much stuff in the way. Space is limited, kids. You know, and you think you got a life until all of a sudden you add toys to it. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Having a little bit of coffee. Reaching for my cup here. It's quite early Saturday morning. December, second week of December. I think it's the 13th. It's like 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4. I could be wrong, but I think that's today. Could have been yesterday for all I know. I mean, gosh. Anyway, been busy with a lot of you folks on the telephone. Hi, how you doing again? I figured I'd show my face a little bit and offer a hello to all of our new members and stuff. And yes, I've been letting fewer and fewer of you in because I'm kind of tired of having to say the same thing over and over and over again. So I don't even know where to start today. Other than the fact that been doing this for 4.5 years now on Facebook, and been talking to a lot of you folks from around the world, and I really thank you for all of your efforts, and that's something I really want to talk about, is how much this is literally from you guys, because only when I see multiple pictures from all over the world and there's similar things in them can we actually say, well, yes, this is here and this is real. And I'd also like to point out to you, everybody, lately this week, there's a lot of sightings of the smaller Anno Domini planets. Now, the reason that we call them the Anno Domini is because in the star charts, when they were first originally found, and other stories and texts from the Catholic Church and from legend and Mayan and everything else, this pattern of star comes in Anno Domini. Now, Anno Domini in Latin means year of our Lord, but it's been cross-referenced into this cross pattern. Now, we've seen lots and lots of these cross patterns. And by the way, you've seen some smoke. It's my incense going away here. Figured I burn incense because that's part of my religion and what I do. I'm mainly Buddhist and also a shaman, and I've studied all of this all my life. Now, for you new members, been doing this a long time. Not trying to brag, but my track record is fantastic, and I say this because for the longest time I have been very sure of what I've been talking about, because I see it plainly thanks to you guys. Now, granted, I do have some gifts and some talents. I have pattern recognition. I was asked to work for some folks who we try not to mention on Facebook, etc., because of these abilities that I have. The factional requests are not just one. There's been quite a few, so we'll go from there. Now, many of you guys know who I am and what I'm up to, and try and leave it at that. Montana Skywatchers, I believe, is the only site you're going to find that has real time where the planets are and what they're doing. Now, there are two suns. There is an iron core star, anti-star rotating around the suns from what we're seeing. It's burning off that iron oxide dust that is legend. There's talk about Planet X, of course. We're going to call that the gas giant, which is way back over there on the far side of our solar system, behind everything. And then you've got the sun, and then you've got us, and you've got Nibiru and Saru and the little rotating Uri, which is smaller than, I mean, still way bigger than Earth, but Uri, and then smaller purple, which we're going to call Atu, because I've left it out all this time for a reason. Now, I wasn't sure because it had sort of a striped effect to it, and that I was crossing it with the gas giant, because they don't really have a gas giant name other than Hercubus and the Destroyer and Wormwood, and there's so many names. So anyway, so I assumed that because of the Pleiadian information that I had versus this video that we've all found on the net, which was banned originally in the United States for a little while, about 2 years ago, and we've gone since back over to Europe and had some people from Europe send it back to us, and then we've maintained a copy of it so far. Now, granted, they've changed a lot of the site codes lately. A lot of the links are down. You can't go to your old stuff to see your old stuff, the old reliables. That's because there's visible shadows on Earth. This weather is from these passing planets buffing into our ionosphere. Now, I can't fully explain that to you, but our ionosphere is like 600 to 800 miles out, depending on the charge of the Earth. and they have 1, 2 around them, and I'm sure theirs is much more vast than ours. And when these planets and the smaller anodominates come in, they leave these little wake eddies. Now, I've got evidence of that. You can go look at some of the Russian spirals where one planet robs ions from another, and that's what creates ion trails and illuminations at night. And some of these clouds and ion drop clouds, get into that, learn, understand what the bottoms of these planets look like, and you'll be able to look right up in the sky and go, wow, that's one right there, because that's the thing that we always see, the big circular cloud base, ion base from planet Saru has been illuminating day, night, etc. Uri is back. It was gone for like 2 weeks, went way out close to the sun, past the sun, came back on our left side. Then purple planets going to the right and underneath Saru. So, it's ecliptically there. And what we're seeing is it's right next to us. But these things are so huge, they literally fill from east to west, north to south. Nibiru is staying on the right side of the sun so far. It could be changed. I may be wrong. Saru is moving literally across plane from the east to the west and then back during the day. And underneath it is running these smaller planets from Amel Saru, Nana, that's being sighted in pictures. That's the little dot on the right side. The medium-sized lit dot is Amel Saru on the right side. On the left would be Isatum and Nepesity. Now, Nepesity is smaller than Isatum. I could be wrong. I have to check, but I'm sure I'm pretty right. And they run under Uri also on the left. Now, when you're seeing the left side thing, these are the planets. Now, if you're seeing a small dot lit up thing in the middle from even to what they call the lens veil, I truly believe that's the Empire Orb. Anyway, I've spoken enough today. I've taken 8.5 of your minutes. I'd like to point out at this time, for like a Christmas thing, nothing is separate. We're all linked. We're linked to the atmosphere. We're linked to space. Now, physics and science has said to you that, Earth, atmosphere, on the other side of our atmosphere is a void. No air. Okay, granted, there's a pressure difference, but I promise you, out there is a liquid. It's a liquid gaseous state of various components, I'm sure. It can't be a void. But anyway, there's a lot to what they teach that is confusing everybody, and why we do not collide with these planets. They repel each other. That's part of the electrical storming. That's part of all of the rain and all of these mass amounts of thunderous floods that are raining down, is because these planets pass. And when these two ion bodies separate from each other, there's an electrical event that is happening between, and space water is part of that. So it's pulling our atmosphere up into space, and it's going collecting, and then it gets so far out, and then it just drops. And these are what these wake eddies are across the planet, where if you look at some of the radar scope, there's a roundish thing happening, followed by all sorts of stuff. Look into it, guys. I mean, this is some cool stuff. Aloha from tropical Montana. Take care. I'm sorry. Welcome to coffee. It's a little screwy this week. Been trying to deal with.
All right, folks. I can't take it no more. My eyes are watering. Real quick. This is the one of his prima donna drawings that he was referring to, and these are the names. All right, let me try to get through this with a straight face. All right, these are the names of these planets that are supposedly up in the clouds, orbiting Earth, and they seem to be pretty damn big. I'm sorry. Oh, shit. Oh. Hey, listen, I don't know. I probably got about 100. I probably got about 150 emails today. And I don't even know how many inbox messages calling me all kind of names and threatening me and all this good stuff. And then I got a lot of other emails that said, "Hey, listen, man, you need to put this guy on blast. People are actually believing him." And like I said, this will be the last time I mention this fool, and that's that. So I went out, I shot my own video of the sky this morning at 9 a.m. We didn't see any planetoids. We didn't see Uri, Atu, Sarah, Nibiru, Nana, whatever the hell, Insantum, Napissi. We didn't see any of these planets, even though they should have been very, very visible in the daytime sky, according to Mr. Planet X Hunter and Mr. Hoffman. Okay, enough of that bullshit for now. If any of you are not familiar with the mental disorder that is called Pareidolia, well, it's not a mental condition, but Pareidolia is your brain manifesting the perception of images in objects. Now, we all know when we were kids, you would look up into the sky when we actually had normal clouds, and you would say to yourself, "Oh, wow, that cloud looks like a kitty cat. That cloud looks like an elephant. Hell, there have been cloud formations up there that look like Elvis, for God's sakes." But we'll read this now. Apophenia is something a little bit different, but they're very, very similar. The apophenia is the spontaneous perception of connections and meaningfulness of unrelated phenomenon. Pareidolia is a type of illusion or misperception evolving a vague or obscure stimulus being perceived as something clear and distinct. So we can all agree that the three photographs that I have placed on the screen, the first one on the left is Winnie the Pooh. The second one in the middle, that could look like a cougar, a lioness, maybe a kitty cat, who knows. And the one on the far right is a heart. Now, these are all real photographs. They're not doctored or anything like that. But, cloud formations can take on various shapes. There's no doubt about that. We'll continue reading here. Is Pareidolia, is it a disorder? Now, a long, long time ago, they've, scientists, psychologists, psychiatrists, they've known about this for, probably a century or more. That is where the old style ink blot test came from. And psychiatrists used to give people these ink blot tests to see what they perceived in those ink blot images. And if you rattled off some crazy stuff, they shipped your ass off to the insane asylum. And that is no joke. That is the truth. So pareidolia is a type of complex visual illusion that occurs in health, but rarely reported in patients with depression. We present a unique case of treatment resistance, major depressive disorder with co-occurring complex visual disturbance that responds to augmentation of treatment with this particular drug, blah, blah, blah. I did a little bit more research on this, and new research has basically stated that people that do suffer from acute depression are more likely to suffer greatly from pareidolia. People with schizophrenia have a very hard time with this. They actually hear sounds and voices in odd things, like the running of a fan or your air conditioning in your home or your furnace turning on. Now, I'm not saying that these people are insane. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. But this is the condition. Now, your mind, your brain already has memories of these shapes. Most of us know what Winnie the Pooh looks like. Most of us know what a cat or a dog looks like. We should all know what a heart looks like. There are many, 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 many examples of this condition. It's fairly normal for people to manifest an image and see the image and see it, whether it's in clouds or a burnt piece of toast. I think there was a burnt piece of toast that had the image of, I don't know if it was Jesus or the Virgin Mary, and somebody bought it for $28,000, bought the piece of burnt toast that had this image in it. So when you're looking up in the sky and the cloud formations are ever changing, there is a 99.9% chance that, your brain is taking over and you're seeing something. Now, you can analogize what I just said, and let's change that around and let's talk about digital cameras and the cameras in your cell phones. See, folks, these new cameras, these digital cameras, are not like the old-fashioned film cameras. The new digital cameras have a processor in it. The processor is trying to distinguish the image and produce the image. That's why we see so many more lens flares and very crazy looking lens anomalies in these digital cameras and photographs and video than we would if somebody was using a 35 millimeter film camera or 110. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you don't even know what 110 film is. But I used to love taking pictures when I was a kid. I think when I was 7 or 8 years old, my mom bought me a camera. Remember, with the little square cube flash bulbs on the top that you had to replace and the film cartridges. And I used to drive her crazy because I used to, take 24, 36 pictures a day. And my mom was like, okay, this is out of hand. I can't afford this every single day. But I used to take pictures of the sky and take pictures of the clouds and the stars. And I wish I still had all of those photographs. I would have uploaded them and showed them to you. But we had a fire whenever I was young. I think I was about 13 or 14 years old. Our house burned down. And all my photo albums and everything we owned was torched and lost. But this is one of the main reasons why people are thinking that they are seeing planets and interdimensional beings and all kinds of stuff. I mean, let's face it. The picture to the left is Winnie the Pooh. Do you actually think that Winnie the Pooh lives up in the clouds? I mean, come on, man. You know, none of you are kids or children. You're grown-ass adults, so you should know better. This is a little bit more of a lengthier definition of pareidolia. And I'll read it for you. Pareidolia is the tendency for incorrect perception of a stimulus as an object, pattern, or meaning known to the observer, such as seeing shapes in clouds, seeing faces in inanimate objects or abstract patterns, or hearing hidden messages in music. Pareidolia can be considered a subcategory of apophenia. Common examples are perceived images of animals, faces, or objects in cloud formations, the man in the moon rabbit, and other lunar pareidolia. The concept of pareidolia may extend to include hidden messages in recorded music played in reverse or at higher or lower than normal speeds, and hearing indistinct voices in random noise such as that produced by air conditioners or fans. Now listen, when I was a kid, we had a huge old Victorian house, and the furnace ran on oil heat, and my bedroom was right above that part of the basement where that big furnace was. Oh my dear God, when that thing would kick on, it would make this weird kind of hissing sound. And, you know, at that point, yeah, there you go. My mind was playing tricks on me, and I was scared to death. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old. And I would run down the hallway and bust into my mom's room, you know. And I'm like, "Could I sleep with you?" You know. And she said, "Get the hell out of here. Go back to your room right now." You know, so these things are common, folks. But one thing I can guarantee you is there are no planets in the clouds. That is scientifically, physically impossible. And, you know, we're going to talk about that right now. Well, matter of fact, I'll leave this up on the screen. No. I don't want to leave it up on the screen. I had a gentleman leave a comment today underneath that live stream I did last night. And he said, "You know, Scott, I've been watching your YouTube channel for many, many years." And he said, "I've watched a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of photographs." And he said, I asked a friend of mine to reverse Photoshop your images. And I gave him, you know, a lot of the images that you've shown everyone. And he said that I have to say that he came up with nothing other than minor filter or color changes, but that was that. So, you know, people were making comments in the comment section yesterday under that live stream that these images are fake. NASA images are fake. Hell, you know, Dr. Albers does not like NASA. She's said it many, many times that she thinks that the satellites produce fake images. Listen, man, it is what it is. These are the only tools that we have to see out there near the sun. Now, I don't think that NASA would be placing inanimate objects into the coronagraph videos, obscuring them so I couldn't see them, and then knowing that I would dig through the data and eventually find them. I mean, that's a little overboard, don't you think? That's like borderline real-time conspiracy to talk that kind of trash. But it is what it is, folks. And I told all of you last week on the 21st or 22nd, whenever I showed that new evidence and that new photo capture and then the video, I told all of you, quote, they're going to be coming after me. They're going to be coming after me really, really hard once again. Every time I show the incredible evidence that I do my homework on, they come after me. And they use the same BS lines. Oh, you pick on people. Oh, you're a bully. Oh, you're arrogant. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. But you know what? You got a choice. Don't watch the videos. But I realize that all of those derogatory comments in the comment section, they're not meant for me. They're meant for you guys. They're meant for each and every one of you, because you may not know better. And you may think because people are calling me a bully or arrogant that maybe I am. But I'm just a no-nonsense person. You know, I mean, that's that. I take what I do very, very seriously, because as I've learned over the last decade is that the conditions that the earth is in now is causing people to lose their lives. People are actually dying because of what is happening. And that is probably going to get a hell of a lot worse as the years go by. And the earth is never going to be the same. The earth is going to be going through a lot of pretty drastic changes. And those drastic changes are going to affect our lives. You see, they don't want the powers that be or whoever, they don't want someone like me talking to you. They want you to listen to people like Sam Hoffman, the Planet X Hunter guy, Steve Olson, Marshall Masters, David Mead. They want you to listen to those hoaxsters because they're not showing you any evidence. They're not showing you any data. They're not showing you anything. And you have to admit that. Just because I go outside and I take a few pictures of the clouds and I point out some maybe, little circular looking cloud and I tell you that it's a planet, I'm actually forcing my thoughts onto you. So therefore you now, your brain and your eyeballs connected to your brain, you now start to suffer from the Pareidolia. It happens to everybody. I mean, it's just part of the human brain. That's it. So let's get to taking Sam Hoffman's crazy theory about planets in the clouds and these other planets orbiting or whatever the hell they're doing out there, above Earth. Now, this was a spectacular picture here. This was on January 29th. That's just absolutely amazing. Look at that. Now, there's a big difference, folks, in what I'm showing you and what somebody's showing you in the clouds. See, I don't have to tell you where to look in this photograph. If this was a photograph of the clouds and there was some kind of obscured round formation in the upper left-hand corner and I didn't point it out to you and tell you to look that way, you might not see it. But this is hardcore data. This is hardcore facts. Whether it's coming from a NASA satellite that was put up there 10, 15, 20 years ago, I mean, come on. I don't have to point this out to you. I don't have to point out what we're looking at in this photograph. So now let's get to talking about a little bit of gravity. Some people don't believe in gravity, blah, 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 but they don't produce any scientific facts. They just talk a lot of shit. They leave a lot of bullshit comments. It's just YouTube, man. It's just the YouTube the sad way that it works. You know, people can come in, spout off with a few, comments and run away. Okay, so let's take, for instance, we have the moon. Well, what would happen if the Earth had a second moon of the exact same size, mass, diameter, a carbon copy, and 180 degrees on the other side of the Earth, orbiting all together in perfect harmony? How long do you think that perfect harmony would last? Yeah, it wouldn't last very long, because one of the moons would either eventually be pushed out of the orbit, or its orbit would actually increase and catch up to the first moon, and they would probably collide. Upon that collision, all of that matter would fall to Earth. If there were two moons orbiting the Earth's rotation would be so erratic that human beings would not be able to live on the Earth. So, let's jump ahead a little bit. Now let's talk about tides. Okay? The moon controls the tides. High tide, low tide. So Mr. Planet X Hunter and Mr. Hoffman are wanting all of you to believe that there are massive gas giants right above the Earth's atmosphere, or whatever, right in the clouds. Okay. Well, why don't we see 100, 200, 300-foot tsunamis every minute of every day? If a big, gigantic gas giant planet was anywhere close to the Earth, what do you think would happen? I mean, is that poking some holes in these two scammers' theories and what they're telling you? So, do you actually think that the Earth can withstand 5 or 6 massive planets right outside of, right outside of the Earth's atmosphere? Let's say maybe they're as far as the moon. Let's say they're 238,000 miles away from Earth. How is it that we can see the stars at night? Yeah. You know how bright the moon gets during a full moon. Why is it that when there's a full moon, why aren't these planets lit up like the 4th of July? You know they would be. Let's put it this way. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you would be able to see these massive objects in the daytime sky, all around the world. At nighttime, no matter where they are around the Earth, no matter where you are on the Earth, you would see the reflective sunlight on these objects. They would be illuminated by the sun. You would see them clearly at night, every night. It would actually make the nighttime sky look almost like daylight again. More holes poked in their story. That's all it is. It's just a story that they're telling you. I don't know what their agenda is. Misinformation, disinformation, YouTube money, views. I don't really know. But they really don't think things out properly. Now let's talk about gravity. and mass of these objects. If we had a gas giant, well, let's say the size of Neptune, slightly off in the distance from Earth, what do you think would happen? Earth's gravity and orbit and rotation would be affected so drastically that every form of life on this planet would be dead. This planet that we call Earth would be uninhabitable. That is a fact. It's not me just saying that. It's a fact. The moon would crash into the Earth or be flung out into the solar system. Now, why does the moon stay in orbit? Well, the moon actually is falling towards the Earth all the time, but it is orbiting the Earth. It is in motion, so it actually misses the Earth. Same thing with all of the other planets. As long as they stay in motion, they're not going to crash into each other. Now, if you get a planet, a hypervelocity planet that doesn't have an orbit, and it enters our solar system, and if you want to look up hypervelocity planets, hypervelocity stars, it's a very interesting educational read. Do it, you'll understand it. But once a smaller planet object, whether it be a moon or, whatever, just another planet, enters into a solar system that has planets that are orbiting a star, and our star has and maintains the largest amount of gravity, and that's what holds all of our planets in place. And they are in constant motion, rotating and orbiting. So if you had all of these big, gigantic Crayola planets up in the clouds above the Earth, what do you think would happen? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's very interesting. Let me pull something else up for you guys. This is just something I wrote up a little while ago. And this talks about gravity and planets and orbits. Most of the bodies of the solar system revolve around the sun in orbits that are not circular but elliptical, and in which the sun occupies one of the two foci. Kepler's first law. Now, I don't know if Mr. Planet X Hunter over there in the UK has brushed up on his science. He may think Kepler's some kind of form of potato chip. I don't know. In particular, planets move along orbits that are slightly eccentric, very similar to our Planet X object, which is now orbiting the sun. Slightly squashed and almost all on the same plane because of the mechanisms with which they were created during the formation of our planetary system. Dwarf planets and minor bodies, on the contrary, are characterized by more elongated and inclined orbits, such as like asteroids, comets. All bodies in the solar system move at different speeds, depending on their distance from the sun, faster when they are closer to our star, and slower when they are further away. Kepler's second law. Moreover, as the distance increases, so does the length of time taken to complete a revolution around the sun, Kepler's third law. In fact, Mercury takes 88 days to orbit our sun, while Neptune takes 165 years. So, as we take Kepler's third law, that defines the 28-day orbit of this object around our sun. Some people have said, oh, that's too fast. Oh, that's impossible. What do you mean that's impossible? The closer you go towards the sun in an orbit, the faster your orbital speed becomes. So, what are you going to say? That Mr. Kepler was a complete moron and an idiot? And Kepler's laws are what? Out the door? Because you just don't understand planetary dynamics, gravity, and orbits and revolutions? Okay. Have your opinion. We'll continue reading this. Now you're in class. The great force that keeps the solar system together and prevents the single components from dispersing into space is gravity, a force generated by bodies simply because they have mass. Let's take into account the Earth has mass. The Moon has mass. Every planet in our solar system has mass. Oh, well, what about Sam Hoffman's planets in the clouds, the Crayola planets? What is it? They don't have mass? What? Are they made of styrofoam? Are they just floating up there? Therefore, these big, gigantic gas giants, their mass would not affect the Earth? Their mass would destroy the moon. That's how powerful a large gas giant's mass would be. So I can continue all night long, boring you people to death, punching holes one after the other in Sam Hoffman's crazy Crayola planets and the bad-mouthing that I've been getting from Mr. Planet X Hunter over there in the UK, simply because poor baby wants to get some subscribers. Take the subscribers, man. It's not going to change the way I do things. Period. You don't have evidence, and you know it. You won't jump on a live stream with me and discuss this matter. I'll let you show your videos. I'll let you show your pictures. Hell, you can call Sam Hoffman on his 1903 telephone, and we could have him on here also. But the facts are the facts. You can use science, and you could use just plain common sense. I know maybe a lot of you aren't science buffs, and I know maybe a lot of this doesn't make any sense to you. I have people leaving comments in that live stream video telling me that they walked out of their house and looked up in the sky and saw one of these planets, these Crayola planets. Okay, where's the pictures? It's just like UFO investigations, folks. You know, nowadays everybody has a cell phone in their hand, in their back pocket, up their ass. They go to the bathroom with it, they sleep with it. So what? You didn't have a picture of it? I had dozens of people saying the same thing. Oh, I have pictures. I have video. Okay. Post it in a video. Put it on YouTube. Send me the link. Show me. Show me. I show you my evidence. My evidence is all out there to be criticized, to be critiqued, to be looked at. I don't hide anything. I show people exactly where I get it, how I got it, and what I did to get it. Plain and simple. You either believe me or you don't believe me. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I don't even know any of you people. You don't even know me. I'm just a guy on YouTube showing you the evidence and the research that I've been conducting now for over 20 years. 20 years. More than that. Actually, like half of my life. I'm 52 years old now. I got half of my life in this shit. And it's only been about the last 6-7 years where, I've been able to obtain more and more and more evidence. And there's just a lot of other people out there muddying the waters and creating dissension and these, oh, you're not part of the Planet X community. Why did you name your channel Planet X News? Why wouldn't I name my channel Planet X News? That's one of the dumbest questions I've ever had. I'm giving you news on Planet X. Hence, Planet X News. Boy, I don't know if these are bots, like YouTube bots leaving these comments, or real human beings with maybe a third of a brain? I don't know. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's continue this. This other part of this article is important. Due to its mass, the sun is the body that has the greatest gravitational influence on all other components of the solar system that revolve around it and follow the same principles. Satellites revolve around their parent planet. So, little satellites, they have to be placed into orbit. They have to move. All of the objects in our solar system, as they're called, components, planets, they are all influenced and all controlled by our sun, which is the center of our solar system. So, what makes Mr. Hoffman's Crayola planets any different? What, are they special? Well, of course they are special. They only exist on his art paper. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, if we had massive planets in the clouds, you would not be able to take a photograph of them. You would not. You would be dead. Every human being on this planet would be gone. Every form of life on this planet would be gone. Period. But don't believe me. Go do your own research. If you're watching this live stream, you have a computer, a cell phone. Utilize that technology to do some research, and you'll figure it out for yourself. Don't take my word for it. And something that you all have to start to do. Don't take anybody's word for anything. See, I'm very analytical. You can tell me something. You can show me something. But then I want to look at it closely myself without any more influence from you, because I want to come to my own conclusions. And just like I mentioned in the beginning, the man that left the comment underneath my last live stream yesterday, he had some doubts. He wasn't very computer savvy, so he sent my photographs to a friend of his who was computer savvy, and he wanted his friend to take my photographs apart, see if they were doctored, see if they were faked. And they weren't. Plain and simple. I don't have to do that. I know exactly when this object is going to be exiting and entering its 28-day orbit. I've gone over the information with all of you countless times, and I will continue. So just because little Mr. Planet X Hunter is on my case, trying to use me as a stepping stone to build his YouTube channel, look, get in line, dude, okay? It's been done to me, I don't know how many times, okay? But people like him, and people like Sam Hoffman, I don't know. Maybe they suffer a little bit from a mental illness. Maybe they suffer greatly from this Pareidolia syndrome, you know? I mean, when I listen to this guy, the Planet X Hunter guy, I don't know what his first name is, but he's always like irate. And he just doesn't present the information. He's mad. He's mad that he's not getting 50 to 100,000 views. He's mad that people are not donating money to his PayPal account so he can continue scamming them. I mean, read the caption underneath his videos in the description box. It says it all. And his last video, laughing at all of you because you went over and you subscribed to his YouTube channel and Sam Hoffman's channel. And as he stated, I got exactly what I wanted. So, who's the scammer? Who's the con artist? It's as simple as that. Bottom line. So it is what it is, folks. You know, people ask me, well, why do you have to be such a bully? I'm not a bully. What the hell's wrong with you? You know? I mean, what do you want? What? I'm not allowed to defend myself? What? I should just allow people to take pot shots at me all day long and call me names? Well, what? If I was on the street with you and I rolled up on you and I started calling you all kind of names and disrupting your life right there on the street, what? Are you just going to cower down like a little puppy dog with those sad eyes? Or are you going to defend yourself? There you go. So look, there's a little message for all you little troll babies out there. Don't think for 1 minute that your little psychological comments left underneath my videos do anything to me. They amuse me. I laugh at them. I am so far more superior than you are. Believe me. You will never get to me. Bottom line. I don't care if you talk about my mother. Those idiots have already done that. You know? Hell, they went after just about every family member in my family. They went after my children. They've come after me for 3 straight years, tried to make my life a miserable hell. They've done everything they could possibly do to me except to kill me. That's it. But I will continue. And I'm sure the other channels on YouTube will continue. You know, it's a free platform. People are pretty much free to do whatever they want to do. But, you know, I wanted to take the opportunity to, you know, jump on here and, you know, show this information. Does anybody have any comments, questions? I got the live chat brewing right here. Like I said before, folks, it's kind of hard for me to do a live stream and pay attention to the live chat at the same time. But I'll check it out. You know, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video that Sam sent me back in, I think it was 2016. You know, now there's no doubt in my mind that you know, the guy has some form of intelligence. There's no doubt about it. He brags about his IQ. He bragged about his IQ in the 4-hour conversation that we had. he bragged about, how he worked for the United States Air Force. He worked for NASA. He worked for secret, like space programs and stuff like that. And he was brought into the NASA program as a child or some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe he ought to take his story to Hollywood. Maybe make a movie or something, And for all you folks or the bots that leave the comments, under my videos that say, why are you always trashing other people? Look, man, I'm not trashing anybody. I'm simply putting the facts out there. I don't see you going over to the other YouTube channels that trash my name. I don't see people defending me. But they sure as hell come to my YouTube channel in defense of their Crayola King. Yeah. But it's okay. I don't need an army of people defending me. I can defend myself. I'm pretty damn good at it. Luis Rowland. Hey, Scott, at least he can draw and color real good. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. For this Christmas, I'm going to get him a paint by numbers kit. But I don't see how anybody can actually take things like that seriously. We are in the times of high technology. And, I use the technology and I use the science to make my discoveries. I mean, that would be like an astronomer, using a magnifying glass to look up at the stars when he has a $50 million observatory telescope right next to him. You got to use the tools that are available. I know that there have been statements made about the NASA images that the NASA satellites are all fake. They're all CGI. Okay, prove it. You see, folks, it's like the old saying goes, talk is cheap. And the neighborhood I grew up in, the way I grew up as a kid, you didn't talk cheap. If you did, well, you pretty much got your ass beat. So, talk is cheap. Back it up. Mr. Planet X Hunter, if you and Sam Hoffman want to break down, you want to do a live stream with me, let's rock and roll, dude. You want to call me out? I'll put you on the spot. You're welcome on my channel to show your information, and let's hear your science. Let's see your proof. And I'm telling you what, buddy, you better come with your big boy panties on. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. And for all of those people that continue to see these objects in the clouds, take pictures of them. Let's see it. Produce the evidence. You want to talk the talk? You better be able to walk the walk. Anybody else have any questions in there? Questions, comments? I told you guys in that live stream on the 22nd, I told you, go back and look at it. I told you that they would be coming after me. I'll get myself in trouble again as soon as I showed you those photographs. Oh, there's my man, Mark, Wages World. Mark just had a birthday, so everybody wish him a happy birthday. Show him some love. He's starting to catch up to me in age. Where's all those troll babies that were in the live chat last night? Where the hell are they? And here's something else that people are trying to get under my skin. They keep asking constantly about, oh, well, Dr. Albers says this and Dr. Albers says that. Oh, are you still married to Dr. Albers? Oh, does she still live with you? Oh, what does Dr. Albers have to say about this? And blah, 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 blah. You know, Dr. Albers does her own thing. I don't rule her life. I don't rule her thoughts. She writes what she wants to write. She thinks what she wants to think. Sometimes we discuss it. Sometimes we don't. We are on two different sides of the spectrum. It is as simple as that. Your little psychological comments that you think that you are going to try to use to get under my skin, listen, man. I'm a psychological expert. My mother was a professor of psychology. I grew up in that house. I took psychology courses while I was in college because I needed them for my career. You are not going to ever say anything that is going to try to use your cheap psychology on me. It's just not going to happen. Oh, am I sounding arrogant again? Well, maybe, but I'm confident what I have right up here. That's all I need. What I've got right up here and right here. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Hey man, if you don't like my videos and you don't like my live streams and you don't like my personality, what the hell are you doing here listening to me for an hour and a half to 2 hours? Right? Right on. But anyways, folks, I'm going to cut this live stream short before I get to the hour and a half, 2 hour mark. And look, folks, the best thing I could say is if you see something weird in the sky, always take a picture of it. Always video it. You all got video cameras or cell phone cameras and stuff like that. Document it. Okay? But please, just remember that some of these things that these people are telling you in these YouTube videos, they're not real. Okay? There's nothing like that orbiting our Earth. The tidal forces, we would have tidal waves, tsunamis that would be 300, 400, 500 feet high, 1,000 feet high. The gravitational forces between those Crayola planets and the Earth would be absolutely destructive. It could not happen. It could not exist. So there's all kinds of holes that you could punch right through Sam Hoffman's Crayola pictures and Mr. Planet X Hunter. For them, it's all about deceiving you, making you believe that these things exist. And now, once the thought is planted in your head, you go outside and your brain brings it up and you say to yourself, holy shit, look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. Oh no, it's Atu. Yeah, I'm being a little sarcastic. That's one of my finer points. But anyways, folks, we have so many more things to worry about going on this planet right now, okay? There's no need to worry about Crayola planets up in the clouds, okay? Stay away from that. Please. Or do what you want. But we do have a very, very serious situation brewing with that bug that I was talking about yesterday. And I can't really talk about it on my YouTube channel. They hammer me enough as it is. But pay very close attention to, I'm going to say it. I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. pay very close attention to what is on the media. Yeah. I've got bad thoughts on what's transpiring, and it could get out of hand really, really fast. It could be used as a false flag. It could be used as some other form of agenda. We just don't know. It's just like everything else. We have to let it all play out. One thing I would recommend is that you protect yourself, you protect your family, use your head. And it would not be a bad idea to make sure that you have all of the provisions that you need in your home to maybe, withstand 4 weeks. You never know. You just never know. I was told about a lot of this back in 2016 by a very good military friend of mine. He spent 24 years in the Army. He was actually an engineer, worked on spy satellites and stuff. And his last 4 years, he worked in the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. And then he started asking questions, and then he was about to re-enlist for another 4 years, and they retired him. And he's had a bad taste in his mouth ever since. But over those years that he was in the Pentagon, he took part and overheard a lot of things, a lot of very devious things. And he's been a very good friend for a very, very long, long time. And he clued me in back in 2016 on all of these things, from the mass migrations of people into the European countries. That was all done for a specific reason. And he informed me at that time in 2016 about the very severe things that were going to happen with our weather and the climate. And it had nothing to do with global warming. Absolutely nothing at all. He knows exactly what I do. And he instructed me to keep on pushing forward. You'll find it. And a year and a half later, he was right. So everything that he told me in 2016, every bit of it has come true. And there's a whole hell of a lot more on the horizon. And not a damn bit of it is any good. Sad to say. It is what it is, folks. There are just some things that are way too powerful for us to control. But we'll see what happens. Listen, folks, you all be safe. I hope I was entertaining tonight. And stay tuned. We're getting very, very close to the end of the month. And there's again, very, very high possibility. Towards the end of the month, we will probably see another coronal mass ejection on the western limb of the sun. And hopefully we get another good shot at capturing this object once again. And you know damn well I will be on it like Blue Bonnet and Mark over there at Wages World. If you're not subscribed to his channel, get your asses over there and make sure you're subscribed and set your notifications correctly. And watch the information that we put out there. It's not fear-mongering. It's educational That's the way I see it. Every little bit of knowledge that we gain on any given day, every day, is well worth it. So anyways, folks, take care, be safe, watch your weather. Like I always say, there's some weird weather moving around parts of the United States and also parts of Europe. There are floods brewing everywhere, massive amounts of snow in different parts of the world, and I'm talking like 2-3 feet at a time. So be very careful, pay close attention, stay tuned to Planet X News. See you soon.